Hi everyone. Today, I was talking about like Christmas versus Philippines and Japan. Sorry, I have coffee. Now we're going to talk about the dark side of Philippine Christmas. Now, a lot of people are saying Filipinos are the happiest people on earth and Christmas is being celebrated from the beginning of Burr months, and everyone is quite happy about it. And Filipinos, you cannot ever, you cannot, you cannot destroy their happiness, or there's no way for them to not lose hope. That's why we have lower suicide rates. And even if we, experience terrible, like bad, terrible challenges, or even when we experience terrible natural disasters, we're still standing. Like in Odette right now, people, they're gonna survive. They're resilient and all. But it's also weird to celebrate it, right? While you're, well, some people are suffering, but thank God for the government and everyone helping, whoever they are, government or not, government haters or not. Thank you. But anyway, what is the dark side of Philippine Christmas? In as much as people would say it's the happiest spirit or the happiest day of the year for everyone, especially Filipinos, because it's the season of giving and people love giving in the Philippines. They're unselfish people and they love sharing food. You would see on how much they cook on the table, how much they would let other people take home, and how much they would worry about others. So that is about it. And it seems so perfect, but there's a dark side. So what is the dark side? First of all, I'm not trying to ruin Christmas, guys, but this is also a part of reality. Number one, the dark side of, yes, expectations for Christmas. So once it starts, it's gonna start by September. People are already decorating and preparing money for it. Preparing money for it is okay if you have a job and if you have double income. But sometimes for some families, they feel lonely because they can't do it. And in our country, it's really important. Most people, they think about what other people would think. You see, when we have these, our social life doesn't only revolve with our family, it also revolves around friends and coworkers. It's okay if they don't have coworkers, that's not a problem. But what if they have coworkers? Now that's another thing to talk about, right? So there's this pressure to buy gifts for everyone, and there's also this kind of like pressure that you have to get them good gifts depending on your salary. Let's say, me, I live abroad. They would expect me to give more than other people just because I live here. But I also have to calculate my expenses. For instance, like, yeah, I could do that if it's my choice, but I want to keep my savings. Although I did forego it, and but still, I want to prioritize my siblings before other relatives. In this Christmas, I prioritized my siblings, and I didn't really give much to my other relatives because they're adults. They can work. Actually, my siblings, they could, but one of them just had a baby, so meh. Anyway, um that's mostly about it. And that expectation of spending money or giving gifts to all of your family members is really, 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 really huge, and it's really stressful for many people. So I guess that's one downside of this situation. On the other, yes, although you want to give gifts, some people even end up borrowing money just to give gifts. And some people, they end up not saving money just to give gifts. Let's say you have Christmas bonus and 13th month pay, because you have to spend money on gifts. Sometimes it just goes, although you have to be thankful I have money to spend, but on the other hand, they sometimes forget that they have the bills to pay next day. Like, oh, it's only once a year, so we should buy nice clothes. But if you would end up borrowing money, I don't think that's good. Now, number two, another dark side of Philippine Christmas is the for godparents, sometimes they are, they're being, you know, parents are making them responsible of giving money to their kids, and sometimes some people would even send a message on how much. So that's very stressful, even for people. Let's say you have a foreign boyfriend, and then they would make you a godmother of their child or take their child to you, just because, in a sense, like, we say, "Ma'am, namamas ko po, can we, namamas ko po, Merry Christmas." We're asking for a gift. So that is the money gift that I talk about. And because you are with a foreigner, some people, they would expect you to give more, especially if you're abroad. So that is one downside. It's really revolves with money. Another downside of Christmas, aside from of course, it's money, and also the pressure to cook a lot of food. So, Christmas is one of those days where we have some food waste in my country, but on the other hand, some people, because they cook too much, they couldn't eat it next day. It's good if they have other family members who would take it home, but some people, they don't have that, so it just goes to waste, and it's being thrown away. Another dark side of Christmas in the Philippines, because of Christmas, it's a huge thing, and then we correlate it with our, religion and God. So some people, they take this opportunity, and they, take advantage of this celebration or event, and they would scam other people. How? By carol, say singing carols is okay. You give 1 peso, 2 peso. But recently it became a bit of like somewhere, like a business. Like, I remember at my grandma's house, they would leave envelopes at the subdivision, and then when they come, it's envelope. You cannot give coins. If they are kids, you can give, coins. But envelopes, they would expect a lot. Like, that time, 20 pesos was the lowest, paper bill, money bill. So you have to put that. But they would, giving those envelopes is a huge expectation. And even in Japan, I'm so sorry to some Filipinos, but some Filipinos would go at the station. The busiest station in Japan is Shinjuku Station and Shinagawa Station, where thousands of people pass. So they would sing carols, and then they would try to ask for money gifts. Like, they would give envelopes to Japanese people, and then they would say they could speak in Japanese, like it's for Christmas, Filipinos in the Philippines. But actually, that's illegal in Japan. And recently, it has decreased a lot. But they would still do it. And they would just keep the money. And there was a huge, news about it on Japanese TV, where, you know, they were actually caught by the immigration for breaking the rule. And apparently, they didn't ask for, they didn't have, necessary permits to do that. And then some people, they would intentionally go to Philippine restaurants just to ask money, because they know Filipinos are there, Filipinos are working there. And if they don't, they get angry. I remember before, I didn't buy her rice cake. It's because I don't like that type of rice cake. I like one type of rice cake. It's like, I forgot the name, but it's coconut based rice cake. But I don't like the other types. Like, I have my own favorite rice cake, and I also like a specific place where to buy it. So it's an old restaurant in my hometown, but it's like a shop anyway. So she says, I said, I don't want to buy. I'm sorry. Then she got angry. She said, "Oh, you're the reason why Philippine economy is so low." I'm like, "Wow, what did I do with the Philippine economy by not buying your rice cake?" So those kinds of things happen too in a lot of Philippine shops. So sometimes people are forced, and then if you give 1,000 yen, they think, "Oh, you're so stingy," or "You're so cheap, Charlie," blah blah blah. So those kind of pressure, it also happens a lot in the Philippines, where they take advantage to scam other people. So that's the dark side. And then what are the other dark side? The other dark side is, a lot of people are taking also advantage, because now it's digital. They want money gifts online. and sometimes, through Gcash. And sometimes another way that they do it, they also overprice goods and services. For instance, there are a lot of stories where caterers would take some food, would offer some bundles where Christmas bundles, but apparently that catering service is actually fake. They just stole pictures from another catering service. So those kinds of scams online are becoming popular as well during Christmas. And another thing is, another dark side of Philippine Christmas is sometimes this is not good, but during that event itself, it's so joyous and happy. But next day they don't have money because they didn't prepare for it. And even though they go to church for 9 days, because we have like not a pilgrimage, but if you do it, like there's a saying, if you go to church early in the morning at like 4 a.m. for 9 days, and then your wish would be granted. Recently it's just for dating, like people would, younger generation would go to simbang gabi, like misa de galo, or mass early mornings, just to date. I did that. Not dating, but I wanted to meet my friends. So yeah, in those cases, it's nowadays it's becoming dangerous as well. But um like people are also taking advantage of those moments. So a lot of things are happening where, like, even though, on the other hand, even though they go to church for 9 days, their personalities never change anyway. So that is the downside. And I don't know, maybe in all events, I heard American Thanksgiving, right? You have the bad aunt, the kind aunt, the crazy uncle or something. So those things happen as well. So those are the dark sides. But I believe that, good, the positive things outweighs negative things. It gives hope for people. It makes people happier, and it brings out joy to everyone. It's a gift of day of giving and sharing. But I believe that if you want to share, if you want to give, you don't have to choose a day for it. But regardless, having one day is better than nothing, right? So yeah, that's the dark side of Philippine Christmas. So for those, if you will have a girlfriend, a Filipina girlfriend, please expect these things to happen. um you need to give a gift, you need to, it's a big thing, it's a big deal in the Philippines. And probably your girlfriend would also want to give money or gift, or your wife wants to give money or gift to their families back home. But is it bad? No, it's not, if it's only once a year. But if she knows her limit, I'm pretty sure if she has been in your country for quite some time, she would understand that. But sometimes if we didn't work for the money, it's easier to give it away. But if we did, that's why I told my mom, that's my 7 days job, salary, please. Then I said, don't talk to me. So something like that. But anyway, that's about it. I hope you guys learned something, but it's not to discourage you from enjoying Philippine Christmas. There are still a lot of good things to choose and to enjoy with Philippine Christmas. Just be aware that Philippine Christmas or any events are all for businesses. No, just kidding. They're for families in the Philippines. That's why it's so if you really want to target Filipino family, Filipino business, or if you want to earn money, it's the family or their pride. No, just kidding. Anyway, guys, Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. I hope you'll have a good one. So thank you so much. Bye.